Hi, welcome to part 2 of session 5. So like I said, you may have heard that we should walk about 10,000 steps each day to promote health. Research tells us that such a general recommendation is not appropriate for all people. The 10,000 step per day recommendation is too low for children and active adults, and then too high for older adults and some people with chronic conditions. We propose to follow an individualized approach to setting steps per day goal. The best way to keep track of your steps is to buy a low cost pedometer from one of your local stores, which I gave you a pedometer. It's in a little white box. I think I showed you that in the intro video. So these bells and whistles and can't keep up with them. So you do have a little pedometer in your box. If you need help setting it up, please let me know, but there are instructions and you'll kind of just have to set your pace for that pedometer. All right, so research indicates that pedometers are the best at measuring steps taken, but they aren't nearly as good as a job at measuring distance walked or calories burned. So for the purpose that we're wanting a pedometer right now, it's perfect. We encourage all of you to focus on steps taken if you choose to use a pedometer. We know that the average adult walks about 3,000 to 4,000 steps at a moderate pace of 30-minute time period. To use a pedometer, you fasten the pedometer to your belt, pants, or skirt on the front of your hip. Try it like near your front pocket. Wear the pedometer for 1 week. At the end of each day, write down the number of steps you took. Next, add up the steps across all 7 days, then divide by 7. This will give you a good estimate of how many steps per day you usually take on average. We call this your base level of steps per day. So it's determining your base level is a great place to start for setting your own personalized steps per day goal. Once you have determined your base level, one way to set your goal is to simply add 3,000 to 4,000 steps on most days of the week. So this is an easy way to meet the National Physical Activity recommendation by simply slowly increasing your steps each day. And they don't necessarily have to be 3,000 to 4,000 steps. If you think that is just crazy, start doing 1,000, start doing 500 steps. Just as long as we're increasing it and not going backwards, you will get to the recommended steps per day. And there also is the handout in your appendix. It's called Walking Tips for if you would like more information. So adults should get a total of at least 30 minutes of moderate physical activity most days of the week, or every day if possible. If you can't set aside 30 minutes at one time to be active, you can absolutely break your activity into shorter periods of at least 10 minutes. Just be sure if it adds up to 30 minutes. So if 10 minutes is easier, do 3 10-minute sessions a day. So as long as it adds up to 30 minutes, it's all the same. So ways to kind of increase your physical activity, small ways: park your car further away from where you work, so you have to walk farther. Park your car, if you go to the grocery store, park further away in the parking lot as long as it's safe, and walk. Those can easily add up to more steps. You can dance to your favorite music for at least 10 minutes. You can take a 10-minute walk at lunch. It's actually good for your mental health to get out and get some fresh air and step away from your work for 10 minutes. I know some of us don't take the necessary breaks. We're busy, we have stuff to do. So it's very important to step away, even if it's 10 minutes, go for a quick walk, grab a coworker. Increasing the intensity or the amount of time that you are physically active can have a greater health benefit that it may be needed to control even greater health benefits and may be needed to control body weight. For some people, 60 to 90 minutes a day may be needed to prevent weight gain or to lose weight. A simple method for measuring intensity of an activity is the talk test. The talk test method of measuring intensity is simple. So if you are active at a light intensity level, you should be able to sing while doing the activity. If you are active at a moderate intensity level, you should be able to talk to others comfortably during the activity. If you become too winded or too out of breath to talk to others, the intensity level the intensity level of the activity is high. More information on that, once again, it's in your appendix. It's labeled examples of physical activities and their intensity levels. You can check it out for if you need more information on that topic. Physical activity burns calories. A calorie is a measure of the energy in food. You may remember from an earlier session that we get nutrients and energy from the food we eat. Food is our body's fuel. The more calories in a food, the more energy or activity it takes to burn those calories. Extra calories are stored in our bodies as fat. You should burn at least 1,000 calories a week by being physically active. Burning this many calories takes about 30 minutes of activity 7 times per week. Burning up to 2,000 calories a week may offer even greater health benefits. So that's walking 1 mile in about 20 minutes burns about 100 calories. Walking 2 miles 5 times a week will burn about 1,000 calories. Drinking 1 12-ounce soda a day can add about 10 pounds to your weight each year. And then 30 minutes of brisk walking most days can subtract about 10 pounds from your weight each year. So this is when I would ask, has anybody calculated your BMI? Obviously you can't answer. So your BMI is your body mass index. BMI is a measure of body fat based on your height and weight. Although it has some limitations, it is a useful way to determine if people are at a healthy weight for their height, or if they are overweight or obese. If you turn to page 7 in your workbooks, it's protect your heart, watch your weight, and there is a chart for your BMI. So you just find your height. So here. You'll find, so to your BMI, you will find your height on the left-hand side, and then you go across for your weight. If you are 5'8" and you weigh 150 pounds, you are considered at a healthy weight. Please, if you need to weigh yourself, please, we have a scale at the health department. We would be more than happy to let you borrow. If you don't know your weight and you want to know your BMI, please reach out to me. I am available, and I can actually kind of walk you through the BMI chart if you have any questions. But it's pretty simple. It's been around. I'm sure you've seen it. But any questions, please feel free to reach out. So a healthy BMI is between 19 to 24.9. A BMI between 25 to 29.9 is considered overweight. A BMI of 30 and above is considered obese. And if you turn to page 8 in your workbooks, you want to you can fill out your score and do all those measurements if you would like to. It kind of gives you more information on your BMI and but once again, if you need any help or have any questions about BMI, please feel free to reach out. I know it can be kind of confusing or maybe overwhelming. But we'll move on from the BMI chart. So if you have been inactive for a while, start slowly. Start out with as little as 5 minutes of walking at a time, and then slowly add more minutes to that time. In your appendix, there is a handout for stretching, how to exercise, and a sample walking program at the end of this session. So if you want more information on that, go to your appendix. As you've noticed, there's a ton of information, ton of handouts in your appendix for this section. Choose physical activities that you enjoy. You'll be more likely to stick with them. Slowly build the time spent doing an activity by adding a few minutes every few days or so until you reach about 30 minutes of activity per day. Even if it's a couple minutes, you're slowly adding it each day, it all adds up. You will reach 30 minutes, which is the recommended amount of physical activity each day. It might take a while, but you will get there. As long as you don't go backwards, you will be just fine. As you find that doing 30 minutes of activity becomes easier, you should gradually increase either the number of minutes or the intensity of the activity. Try new activities to keep you from becoming bored with one and get the benefits of different activities. You can reward yourself afterwards with something obviously we think of a reward, we think of maybe it's sugary or fat-filled snacks, but try to like a healthy reward. Like if you like to go fishing, if I walk this many, if I work out, I'm gonna go on a little fishing trip. I mean, just little healthy rewards like that. They don't necessarily all have to be based around junk foods, which I know is kind of what we automatically go to. So easier said than done. Okay. The CDC recommends that older adults with hypertension warm up and stretch for at least 10 minutes before exercising. The mode is recommended to be some form of aerobic exercise, a frequency of 3 to 6 days a week, a duration of at least 30 minutes, not counting warm up, and a low to moderate intensity. Always adequately cool down, 5 to 10 minutes, especially if taking blood pressure medications. And then, okay, I'm gonna screen share really fast. I want to show you guys the last slide for this session. I'm not even going to kind of just leave it at this. So physical activity plan for elements. So you need equipment. So there are 6 elements to a physical activity plan. So you have equipment, location, you warm up, your mode, frequency, duration, and then your cool down and stretch. And we are just wrapping up. I'm going to stop screen sharing. There we go. All right, that took a while. I don't know why that button wasn't going. So session 5 review, please answer those questions in your workbooks. It is page 11 in your workbooks. Answer those review questions, and then we have your action plan. So this week, on page 12, there are some ideas on kind of some action plan ideas that you can use. You don't necessarily have to, but they just give you some kind of ideas to get you started. And you'll want to do an action plan for this session. I know there was one sheet in here that we didn't go over, page 9 in your workbooks. This is your physical activity plan. So this should be something that you want to do. This will be separate from your action plan, but they're both based around physical activity. So please do both of those. And yeah, so once again, like I said, I'm going to touch base with each of you on how your first 2 action plans went. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. And please fill out your blood pressure management. Please fill out your blood pressure, my personal health diary. So make sure we're filling out our blood pressure measurements, our sodium intake, our vegetables and fruit servings each day. And now what we're adding on to is our steps. So you're going to keep track of how many steps you take each day. And that'll also be, you'll want to keep track on your personal health diary. Once again, I will ask you guys to turn those in after the workshop is over. So please try to keep up with those. And then you should be checking your blood pressure every single day. So after you watch this video, please send me your most recent blood pressure measurement. Other than that, I think this wraps up this session. So our next session is medication management. We have session 6, 7, and 8 left. So 3 more sessions to go and then we're done. But in the meantime, like I said, any questions, concerns throughout this session workshop, please reach out to me. I am available. I'm here for each of you. Other than that, I will see each of you in a couple days for session 6. All right. Thank you.